Well, it's not Christmas, but did the Sixers just get a gift from the Los Angeles Lakers? Could Philadelphia bring back a former fan favorite after he was just released by LA? That's what we're talking about here on today's show. Before we get into this former Sixer possibly coming back, you guys know I hate Boston. I'm sure a lot of you hate the Boston Celtics as well. And we're battling them here within the walls of Chat Sports. On today's show, Boston Celtics today, led by my good friend Tyler Smith, picked up 24 subscribers on their latest video. I know we could do better than that right here on 76ers Now. So with that video, let's beat that number. Let's smash it. Shoot, I want to double them up. Can we get 50 subs here on today's show? Hit that subscribe button. Sixers news, rumors, and analysis every single day throughout the entire year. Lock us in. Let's beat those frauds over at Boston Celtics today. So, this kind of all started with Marcus Smart. He was released by the Washington Wizards, agreed to a buyout there so he could become a free agent, and signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. And I like this move quite a lot for LA. You know, Marcus Smart, always going to be an interesting player because offensively, you never know what you're going to get one night to the next with Marcus Smart. He might make 5 threes one night. He might go 0 for 7 the next, right? But defensively, you know he's going to have it as long as he's healthy and on a cheap contract for the Lakers. So, some good talent. I like his fit next to Luka with LeBron. They needed another point of attack defender over there in LA. So, a good move for the Lakers. But in order to bring in Marcus Smart, they had to clear up some money and clear up some roster spaces. And this is where the Sixers might have just gotten a gift from LA, as the Lakers had to release Shake Milton in order to make room for Marcus Smart. Of course, those you do not know, might not be familiar, Shake Milton was with the Sixers to start his career. The first 5 years of his career were spent in Philadelphia, and he had some exciting moments at times. Looked like somebody who could be a real contributor as the Sixers were really starting to build a winning team, because early on in his career, his rookie year was 2018-19, didn't really play much, just 20 games in that season, but then the next 4 years with Philadelphia put up pretty decent numbers. 9 points, 8 points, but that 2020-2021 season was really special. He got some votes for Sixth Man of the Year, put up 13 points a game, never been a super consistent three-point shooter outside of 2019-2020, but just a backup guard who could create his own shots, not much of a playmaker or a distributor, but always was an exciting player that a lot of Sixers fans felt could do more if he was given more opportunity and given more time. So he had that solid 2022-23 season where he shot almost 38% from three, putting up about 8 points, and you like what you saw there. Then he ends up signing a contract with the Minnesota Timberwolves that offseason, a multi-year deal. You think, oh yeah, good for Shake. Cashes in a little bit, not too much money, but can he build off the success that he had with Philadelphia? Because again, never really got that chance to really show what he could do. I mean, you think back to that huge game he had against the Clippers. I think he had 39 points in that regular season game. Like, he had some moments, but he signs with the Timberwolves, only ends up playing 38 games for them. And since the start of 2023, so the past 2 seasons, he's really bounced around, man. Minnesota, just 4 games with Detroit, just 6 games with the Knicks. This was all in the 2023-24 season. And then this past year, split time between the Nets and the Lakers. He was traded from Brooklyn to LA in the trade that sent Dorian Finney-Smith to the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell back to Brooklyn. And now he is being released by the Lakers. So he's really had a hard time finding his footing in the league ever since he left Philadelphia, which I'm a little bit surprised with, because I feel like the kind of player he is, no, he's not a great defender, and he's not some amazing athlete or not some amazing distributor, but he always had a pretty decent handle and showed an aptitude and an ability to score the ball. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking, because I asked earlier on the community tab of the channel, would you want the Sixers to sign Shake Milton? And a lot of people said no, because it's just another smaller guard, even though Shake Milton, I believe, is around 6'3", 6'4", so not like he's 6'1", but I get the sentiment that you don't need another guard in here. Shake is actually 6'5", so not one of those smaller guards. And by the way, Shake Milton is still only 28 years old, which is crazy because it feels like he's been in the NBA for so long, but just 28. Look, I get the Sixers roster. You assume Quentin Grimes, who is still not officially signed, is going to be here, so you have a lot of other guards. Where would Shake Milton truly fit? on the roster. Also, you got to consider the fact that Quentin Grimes will be the 15th player. NBA teams can only carry 15 guys into the regular season, but you can have up to 20 before the season starts. So look, obviously Maxime McCain, VJ Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, those are your guards, right? But let's be honest, like Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, they're not going to get real rotational minutes for this team. So why not at least bring in Shake Milton for a training camp visit, right? Get him some looks in training camp and see what he can do. Because again, it won't cost you anything. You won't have to pay him any guaranteed money if he's willing to return to Philadelphia, a place where, look, he has familiarity. He's played with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey in the past, so that could help him a little bit build some of that chemistry and do some good things early on in the season. Again, you don't have to pay him a guaranteed money. You can bring him in for basically nothing, just a tryout. So if you're going to bring some extra guys in for training camp and for the preseason, why not just see if Shake Milton can still give you anything scoring the ball a little bit? You know, you can never have too many guys that can score the basketball. And Kyle Lowry, Eric Gordon, I don't need to see them on the floor. Daryl Morey himself said he does not envision Lowry or Eric Gordon being in the regular rotation. And shoot, maybe you can get off of Eric Gordon's contract or something, or just find another way to get Shake Milton on the active roster if it does come to that point. But again, I'm not saying you have to sign him to the active roster right now, but with the familiarity, he's still only 28. He can still score the ball a little bit. I think it would make a lot of sense to, at the very least, bring in Shake Milton on a training camp deal. See what he can do, because he's out of a job right now. What better place to get his NBA career back on track than right here in Philadelphia? What say you, though? Should the Sixers sign Shake Milton, at least bring him in for training camp? Or are you on the train where there's too many small guards, don't need to see another one? 6'5" again, by the way. S for sign, P for pass. Let me know if you want to see Shake Milton back in Philadelphia. Now, it wasn't just Shake Milton that was released by LA. They actually had to release 2 players in order to bring in Marcus Smart, and the other player they released also pretty intriguing as well. We'll get to Jordan Goodwin here in just a moment, but before we do, guys, I want to tell you about a great new deal over at Fanatics on the 76ers half zip. They're calling it a half zip on Fanatics. Kind of more of a quarter zip to me, but regardless, it is dope. It's the City Edition style from this past season. And, oh yeah, it is on sale from $85 down to just $43 at chatsports.com/76erszip. That is nearly 50% off. All sizes are still available as this item just went on sale. So take advantage before it's too late. Get in early on the action. Like, I know it's middle of summer right now in July, but it's going to be September, October before you know it. You're going to want something like this to stay fresh, especially heading into the new basketball season. So again, chatsports.com/76erszip was $85, now just $43. Go over, take advantage of that deal today. So the name I mentioned, Lakers obviously released Shake Milton, also had to release Jordan Goodwin in order to make room to sign Marcus Smart. And honestly, Jordan Goodwin might be a more intriguing player than Shake Milton, although, of course, Shake has the Philadelphia ties. Jordan Goodwin, another guard, of course, 6'4", 200 pounds, so a little bit of a stockier guard. His calling card really is that 3-and-D archetype. But look, before last year, the three-point shot wasn't really there for Jordan Goodwin. He kind of bounced around teams a little bit, started his career with Washington for a couple of years, then kind of broke onto the scene a little bit in 23-24, splitting time with Phoenix, then ended up in Memphis, where he kind of made a name for himself on the defensive side of the ball, really being a just presence on that end of the floor, a nuisance, an annoyance, just being that guy that, yeah, maybe not do a lot on offense, but shoot, he'll play defense and he'll annoy the opposing team's players. And then last year for the Lakers, played sparingly, but shot just over 38% from 3 with that good defense. He's still a young player. Another guy that I saw Lakers fans saying, man, we don't want to have to give him away. This could be somebody that could be on the actual roster and play real minutes in the coming years. We might have found a hidden gem in Jordan Goodwin. But now, because they're in win-now mode, of course, they bring in Marcus Smart. They had to release him. So, again, I say, similar to Shake Milton, like, why not take a chance on someone like this on a training camp type deal? Now, maybe Jordan Goodwin or Shake Milton, for that matter, do end up getting signed to an actual roster. And if they do get a real roster spot, I'm sure they would take that over a training camp spot. But we're at the point in the offseason now where It's almost August, right? Training camps are going to start up in September. A lot of rosters are already full. It's hard to see at this point, if you get released at this point in the season, or the offseason, I should say, where you're really going to be able to find a spot. So Jordan Goodwin, if you want someone who, not the shot creator or the scorer that Shake Milton is, but if he can prove that he is a 37, 38% three-point shooter with the hustle, the energy he plays with, the toughness and the mindset he plays with on the defensive side of the ball, kind of similar to what we talked about with the VJ Edgecombe, that could be really, really intriguing, especially because, again, he is still young. He is still developing. Has gotten better every single year. Could be, a hidden gem of sorts if you bring him in at training camp. And I'll say it again, replace Kyle Lowry or Eric Gordon, most likely Eric Gordon with him, because I don't need to see 39-year-old Eric Gordon getting minutes. So two interesting players Philadelphia could look to sign, all because the Lakers brought in Marcus Smart. Could be a gift if Philadelphia does bring in one of these guys, and they end up doing something pretty decent for this team. So we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, that's why you guys subscribe to the channel, because anytime the Sixers make a move, whether that's bringing in another player from free agency or whenever they eventually re-sign Quentin Grimes, because it will happen at some point. We just don't know when. We will make a video for you guys. So hit that sub button so you never miss a thing on your Philadelphia 76ers.